The trailer and dolly worked great to clear 32 trees and bring the account from 15,000 to almost 200,000. Now, it's time to show off what this farm is capable of as we start our push for 2 more small grain mills and 2 new fields, all costing well over $400,000. The 3650 was worked pretty hard in the last episode with those trees, so we'll get that repaired to put it right back to work in this episode, selling pretty much everything we've produced on the farm. We're not going to waste any time though, because we need those 2 small grain mills built and producing flour as soon as possible to help keep our new bakery turning out bread. We'll put them right here in the new yard up where we have the canola planted. Also, because we have the bakery, we can put the spawn points really close together. The flour is going to be distributed straight to the bakery, no more flour pallets to move. 72,000. Now we'll hook up the Deutz-Fahr and get some oats in there. I have enough oats to put a double trailer worth of oats into each mill. That's 16,000 liters going into each. On the way, let's stop in here at the farmer's market. They own the fence that runs behind the property and all the way behind our field and the fields we're going to buy, over into the woods. Let me see if they're amiable to taking that down. They were really good people in there and had no problems with it. In fact, it was just a holdover from the prior owner, and they were looking for an excuse to do it themselves. So now, this whole area is wide open for moving farm equipment around, and the track leading behind the farmer's market is also now much wider. That's going to make everything much easier. Let's finish getting our oats moved. We need more flour. Our first pallet of bread is here. Beautiful. With that, we can move forward from October into November, where we'll have a couple chores to do, and we'll probably be selling our canola oil, if the price is good. We'll start with hacking down a couple oak trees for the sawmill. We've had pretty good luck just pushing them in a couple big pieces at a time with the John Deere. So we'll continue with that plan and put in a good portion of each tree. All right, that's half a tree or more into each mill, and there's a little space left. So I'm going to use that to our advantage. Up at the new fields, there's a few small trees which are bordering the field that almost get in my way. So while there's space in the sawmills, I'll go grab probably one of each of the small ones and just carry them back one at a time. I'll start with this one here at the end. These are very small trees and should be pretty easy to carry. All right, this is the second one, and surprisingly, it's just a little too big to all go in the trigger. We'll just give that a little slice, and I think we'll leave it laying in the trigger so when the sawmill gets hungry, it'll have some wood to eat. We'll do the same with the other piece and just leave it as a late November snack. This time next month, that'll be easily gone. The grain mill we've owned all along still has a fair amount of oats, so we'll just take a partial load and try to get it topped off about even with the other two. That way, when we add more oats next time, we can give each grain mill the same amount and keep them fairly even. Alright, easy job, and we can store our fantastic little double trailer setup back where it belongs. We've got 5 pallets of bread already. That's what we like to see. And all we have to do is wait a little longer into December when the price reaches its peak. The same could be said for the canola oil. We waited until about 4:30 in the afternoon, watching the canola prices and waiting for them to peak. I think we're pretty much there. So before it gets any darker, we'll get ourselves all set up and start loading the oil to go to market. Last time, the oil brought in about $70,000, which is a nice pile of cash. But if you recall, this oil mill is still only running at half its production capacity. This coming July, when we harvest our canola again, it'll be the first time that we'll be pulling in the grain off that new big field, which should come pretty close to almost doubling our input. That means next time we could be seeing around $140,000 in revenue coming out of this oil mill, which is the kind of impressive numbers I was really after. Let's get all the oil loaded. The day is getting late. Well, I got a little greedy with my stacking, but we got it, and it's ready to sell. The sun really is getting low in the sky. We got that loaded in the last bit of daylight. These will all go to the small farmer's kiosk where we'll get the best price from the 20% bonus. It sold in 2 batches, but totaled very close to $72,000. We're about ready to lose daylight, but I admit, I really enjoy the early morning and late day lighting. It just gives a great feel to the game. With that, we'll pass the day over to December where we'll continue the selling. It's December morning. Let's quickly check some prices. The bread looks like it's reached its peak, at least at the small farmer's kiosk, so we'll be selling that. The goat milk is still on the rise, so we'll just wait a little bit on those pallets. But the straw looks like it's about ready to go. The enoki and oyster mushrooms are right on schedule to be sold in January like usual, but the milled lumber is also at a good price, at least for the long planks and beams, so we'll be selling those here in December as well. They're always worth quite a bit. We'll be selling the products that are ready, but we have a little makeup work to do with the grass fields. Back in October, after we got everything mowed and baled, I forgot to roll the fields. So we're having to pay a little bit for that mistake by using our fertilizer spreader to put down that second application. This isn't massively costly, but it was avoidable. I won't know until we get to the end exactly how much this fertilizer set us back, but I'm pretty sure the extra yield we'll get from the grass will be more than we paid for the fertilizer we're putting down. So I'll get this little mistake sorted out, then get back to the selling. There are so many moving parts on the farm, it's easy to forget something. Okay, not bad. I think that set us back somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,200. But that should give us more bales in the neighborhood of $4,000 to $5,000 at least. So it's definitely a correction that put us in the positive. With that done, we'll get a quick little move of more milk pallets. They just keep coming in. And we should even move this little stack here in front of the barn. That'll be in the way for sure when we move the lumber. Now it's lumber time. And unlike the summer, we're going to be very selective and only take the long planks and beams. The short planks will set off to the side until June when they're ready to sell and get everything else loaded. This should be a pretty full trailer. There you have it. 8 pallets of long planks and 5 pallets of beams. Yeah, that one set of beams was trying to fall off, but on the trailer is on the trailer. So we're off to the playground. Here we are. Let's hope they all sell. All sold. Almost 36,000. Those sawmills are a nice, reliable source of income. Let's get back and do some more selling. When we checked the prices, the bread was looking very good and actually starting to go down. So we'll get all that loaded and sold at the small farmer's kiosk. We have 12 pallets to go to market, so these will load up very quickly. It is only 12,000 liters of bread, so I'm keeping my expectations in check. But in addition to making our flour more valuable, the bread also has the side benefit of consolidating 2 flour pallets into one. So having this bakery and turning it into bread means that we're not only making more money in the production chain, but we're also decreasing the work we have to do, which, given how busy we are on the farm, is something we definitely appreciate. All loaded, let's get our fresh baked goods to market and make our first bit of bread money. Around 24,000. When we sold right around the same amount of flour, we only got about 20,000. So that's a nice little increase in that whole production chain from oats to flour to bread. It's goat watering time again, and I've been keeping my eye on the milk price. It's just not where it needs to be. Because we have so much of it, I want to wait until the goat milk price really gets to its best. So we'll forge ahead towards January, where I'm sure we'll be selling the goat milk, the mushrooms, the silage, and even the bottled goat milk from the pitiful dairy in the next episode. There's also a very good chance we'll be buying the new fields. See you in the next one.